right there. Stop, stop.
Okay, so this was a really hard challenge right here with this gap, and that wall on the left-hand side is overhung. So you have to get on top of it, and then you have to skate this giant crack, and then you have to try to decide when you're gonna make the big jump over it. Just to get on top of it where he is right now was a massive feat, and it took a whole lot of having a good spotter tell you where to go, and then obviously the driver just being fearless. So yeah, he went for it. His spotter was telling him to creep along a little while longer, and he went a little too hard, but that was an amazing job to even get to the point that he was at. Incredible. You can see how high this wall is right here. Like, look how tall that is. It's insane. This is actually the guys that I was riding around with for 2 of the days that I was there. It wasn't the most capable Jeep there, but it was it was actually more of an Overland setup on a Gladiator, but it still had massively bigger tires than I have, so it was doing good.
Go. But he did literally go and hit the underhang exactly like you said not to. Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is totally off the subject, but watch this. If you've ever wondered what lockers can do for you, pre-lockers, now with the lockers on. It's like the easy button. It's the coolest thing ever. So this is this crazy example of how well these guys start to get to know their vehicles, how wide they are, how big their tires. This vehicle actually has 46-inch tires on it, by the way, just massive suckers. And this trail, we started on this trail. This trail's called Broken Chain, and we started out with something like, I don't know, like 13, 14 different Jeeps. 3 problems into it, we only had 3 Jeeps left standing. People had either turned and left because they couldn't get through the first obstacle, which I think is called Gatekeeper, or they had literally broken their Jeep and had to get towed out of there. Nick, who is driving here, who is from Rockstar Garage, he was able to navigate his way up this, but if you saw in the beginning what he was doing there is he was stuck and he couldn't get traction, so he actually just sat there and wove his tires back and forth long enough to heat them up, kind of warm up that the rubber, get it a little more sticky, and then he was able to hop up. And then just like the last guy, when he got stuck in that gap, he had worked himself over just enough that he could twist the Jeep all the way around. He was able to get traction and pull himself out of that gap. It was pretty cool to watch. It was just, it's like watching Tetris with Jeeps or something. It was really amazing. This is this Tacoma. This guy was awesome. I felt so bad for him that he kind of messed up his truck later on. You'll see that in a little bit. But he also knows his vehicle very well. He got stuck here. He's not going for it too hard. Backs it up, gives it a little bump. Look, just barely backs it up. Nothing big. Still takes it pretty slow to not like unnecessarily damage things. Anyhow, I thought that was some pretty good driving.
Cut this way.
That obstacle just cracks me up because it really is like, are you really driving or are you just falling? Basically, you're just falling. There was some really amazing Jeep builds there. This guy had a beautiful Jeep. Honestly, it's so different in overlanding. Like crawling, they get so used to breaking their vehicles and damaging them. And yet that guy's out there with this beautiful Jeep, yet he's wheeling some of the craziest stuff. And you just know it doesn't stay shiny like that for very long. And they're all okay with it. Like they break stuff constantly. We had broken axles every single day on the trail. We had rollovers every single day on the trail. And honestly, people were safe and they just laughed it off and had a blast, and they pretty much always said the same thing, like, look, these Jeeps came here on a trailer, they're gonna leave on a trailer. So very different mindset than overlanding, but at the same time, I appreciated it. Like at their craft, they're having a good time, they're enjoying each other, they're just out there in nature, they're having a blast, and it was pretty cool to see nobody getting really frustrated. They're just having a good time.
You're hitting both tires.
You gotta get it with a little bit of speed. Just a bump.
Same thing I had to do.
These guys are gonna send him that up.
See, there's no way that guy's not having a fun time. He's having a blast.
Well, sitting out here in Sand Hollow, Utah, we're on John's Trail. It's definitely the craziest 4x I've ever been on. Currently running it with the Rockstar Garage team, who's got several full-time wheelers on this crew. Right up here, we've got mostly Jeeps, obviously a couple Gladiators, running around in one of those today. But we've got a really awesome Tacoma up here as well. Unfortunately, he literally just got done telling me he was finally gonna start doing some body work on it because it's pretty banged up. And then next obstacle, he rolled it. So I'll show you what's going on here. We got a full-blown crew rolling him back over right now.
Yeah, this was really interesting because in all my time overlanding, I've definitely done recoveries. But I gotta say, like, you know, I help out in a recovery like once a month.
You guys get that?
Doing this, we were doing recoveries 10 times a day, if not more. In fact, I would have much better footage for you guys, except for half the time I was actually helping with the recoveries. You get so much practice and you get so better at figuring out how many winch lines do we need to lower this vehicle safely, whether it's under its own power or not. In this case, this thing had no power, and in fact, by the time they got it back to level ground and let the oil drain when they started it, its engine blew up. This was another one where it was actually just really hard to get a winch line in a secure spot to pull him without the other Jeep just getting pulled down the hill. And then the whole entire time after they got him off the rock, getting him around that corner, he was still almost rolling over into the rock. And you can see the angle on this winch, like this guy's just basically winching up what looks like a cliff. So it was just recovery after recovery after recovery. Everybody was safe, you know, nobody got hurt the whole entire time we were there. But man, if you go hang out with some rock crawlers, you will get so much recovery practice in such a short amount of time. That aspect of hanging out with them was amazing. They are so good at recoveries. Oh, also in the sand dunes, it hadn't rained there for a very long time, so the sand was so soft. I know it doesn't look like that vehicle was stuck, but it was so easy to get stuck because of how soft the sand was. And that's where, like, that was a Factor 55 tow line that's not a static line. It's the kind that has the stretch built into it. And all of a sudden I realized, like, the value of having one of those. We had to tow multiple cars. See where we're flying over right here? We had to tow multiple vehicles out from the trails way up in that hill all the way down all those dunes and back to the bottom. When you're towing a vehicle over all these sand dunes, having just a regular strap jerking everybody around is terrible. You definitely want to have that dynamic line that has some stretch. So probably going to look into one of those from Factor 55 at some point. If you're curious about recovery gear, we'll leave some links below to some of the gear that was used in this video. Also, don't forget that we're doing a giveaway this week. So when you see the logo for our channel in this video, make sure to comment below on the timestamp when it showed up in the video, and then let us know what you want, whether you want the pocket knife or the flashlight that we're giving away this week. If you don't know what I'm talking about, they were featured in the video out on Sunday, or I'll also include links below to them as well. We're doing giveaways every video now. It's been awesome to see how much this brand new channel is getting supported by the community. We really, really appreciate it. We're very, very thankful, and we're excited to see where the channel is gonna go. We kind of hope that as the channel gets bigger, we can continue to do bigger and bigger giveaways. Details on the giveaway will be down in the comments. Okay, so this was a really interesting problem. This was that problem I was talking about called gatekeeper that only 3 Jeeps ended up getting through.
How much do you like your door?
Yeah, how much do you like your door? It's basically like a ½ an inch from just getting gouged right now. Here's the deal. She got pinned in here and she was still going for it, which was awesome. And she was so close to making it. And you can just see right now, everybody's watching. Yeah. Wait for it. Oh. Okay. So that was the sound of her entire hub exploding, basically. So this is Holly Fowler. She drives a Jeep called Mischief Maker. She's an incredible driver. And what I loved about these guys was their mechanical prowess. Like every single person, her husband who's there on the left, they're all just mechanics at a level I want to be, but never have been. I can work on my car when I'm at home and in my shop, and I could do quite a bit of stuff, but I might have to look at a book and I might have to look at the internet, right? These guys, literally, she breaks her hub. She just full-blown explodes her hub right there on that problem. She literally gets out of her Jeep and goes, hey, I've got the spare parts in my truck down at the bottom. I'm just gonna get towed out of here, or two-wheel drive it out of here. And I will, I'm gonna go replace my hub, and then I'll meet up with you guys later on today. I'll do the evening run. And sure enough, she was back out on the trail that evening and had rebuilt her entire hub herself. She didn't take it down there to mechanics and a bunch of other people. She literally just sat down there, pulled everything out, replaced the whole entire thing. And I gotta tell you right now, I don't know how to do that. I mean, could I figure it out with enough internet and help? Yeah, probably, but she did it with no manual, nothing, just sat down, replaced her hub, back out on the trail. So everybody in these crews is so used to having to work on their vehicles that, you know, for an overlander, if you're gonna get stranded out there and you're gonna break something, a lot of us have done a lot of homework on basic bush mechanics, but these guys are next level. They can basically just about rebuild just about anything in their car at any point in time by themselves on the side of the road without a nice shop. And it was really impressive, and it really kind of inspired me to like do a little more homework, step up my game, dive into the weeds a little bit more on the mechanic side, and get more skilled. Like if I break a CV, if I break an axle, not only can I get under there with my grinder and just cut it off so I can three-wheel and limp my way home, but if I bring the spare parts, you know, can I rip it apart and replace it there on the road with a lot of confidence that I'm not going to run into trouble? For me, that would be a big deal. So going and seeing them in action kind of inspired me to get a little better at this stuff and a little more confident. There was some really amazing driving too. Like on the left-hand side of what she's driving up right now is just a total straight up vertical wall that they're just doing a tire smear against. And you can see that as you get to the top, if you slide out at all, you end up doing this massive wheelie. And, you know, like this lady that's driving right here, this is a bad example. I feel like I'm doing her a discredit because she did get up it after another try. She got up it no problem. But it's just incredible watching them, you know, get through these situations where you're popping a wheelie that high, not to roll over, listen to your spotter, get back down, get back up it, and conquer it. It was really impressive. Also, for all you Toyota fans, because I know I'm showing a lot of Jeeps, this guy was there, this monster was there, and that was one rad looking Toyota. This was one of the 3 Jeeps that made it all the way to the end, not the end of the trail, but the end of where everybody had to eventually give up on Chainbreaker. So Chainbreaker is a rated 9 trail, which means it's made for buggies, not Jeeps at all. Even the event staff said you have no business being on that in a Jeep. So it was pretty remarkable that even a few Jeeps actually got through some of the problems. It was really incredible to watch. The funny thing was, since we started out with so many Jeeps, by the end of the day there was only 3. I actually didn't have a ride back. I had to sit on top of somebody's cooler with my feet hanging out of the back of their Jeep to get back down. Basically I had to hitchhike my way home because there wasn't enough seats. I put this sequence in here just because it shows the difference of an overlander mindset and a rock crawler mindset. These guys do damage to their vehicles all the time, and they just laugh it off because it's a part of life for them. And that is why you get so much practice at spotting, and it's why you get so much practice at recoveries. And they also know their vehicles so much better in a lot of ways than we do sometimes. All right, look at them, watch this.
I cannot back down.
Yeah, that's a, I don't know, what's that called? Quarter panel. Lost headlight, quarter panel's gouged now. It's not stopping her. She's still going for it. It was really interesting hanging out with them. Just totally different mindset. I'm not saying that we should carry this over into overlanding. The point of overlanding is you need to keep your car together. You need to be able to get out there and get home.
Oh, headlight. No, not you. You're fine. No, you're good. Oh.
Yeah, me, I'm sitting here nervously going like, man, if this goes wrong, maybe we want a winch to get her out the top. And they had it under control basically the whole time. Just different style of control than overlanding. So, like I said, get out there. If you ever get a chance to go out with rock crawlers, get out there, practice all the fun stuff. But yeah, you'll learn a little bit for sure. But obviously, you don't want to be doing this kind of damage to your vehicle if you're overlanding and you want to do 3,200 miles in round trip.
Back up, see where your tires are right now. That's where you got to hit. It's just to the right of that, okay? Bounce off this ledge here.
That's it.
Don't steer too far, just hang on that one.
Don't worry, that panel's stopping you.
I just loved how much fun they had. It was great crew to hang out with. A lot of good drivers. Very enjoyable time. I'm very thankful for the opportunity to do this. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's that hard spot. Anyhow, I want to put a thank you out there to the Rockstar Garage team. Really appreciate you guys hosting me and allowing me to tag along. It was a blast. I learned a lot, and I hope I can get out there someday again with you guys soon.